All right, in this video, I am going to solve this sample pre-admission math assessment for the Conestoga College entrance exam, basically, and it's used for a couple of different programs in the exam. Some of them are for engineering. If you're doing engineering, you need to know how to do all the 100 questions in this. Business is only the first 88 problems, and certain trade programs and art programs, you only need the first 72 problems. Now we're going to have to solve all of these without a calculator. So I'm going to do these without a calculator. I'm going to show all the steps and hopefully it'll help you. And maybe I'll put up some extra practice exams as well. If you guys want some extra practice problems, let me know in the comments. Okay, so let's get started. I'm just going to solve these on the paper here, but if I need extra space, I'll grab some extra paper. We're starting with some basic addition. So for addition, you just want to line up your numbers directly above each other and make sure that the number always lines up the most to the right side. So the 64, I'm going to place the 4 directly below this. Then 1092, the 2 over there, 9 over there, 0 and 1. You want to make sure everything lines up perfectly. I'm going to add from right to the left. So 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. Carry on a 1. Then I add the 1 that I carry on. So 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 6 is 8. Plus 9 is 17. And carry on the 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. Then 1, there's nothing to add with that, so I'll just bring it down. So final answer, oh wait, I missed this 2 over there. 1 plus 2 plus 0 is 3. Almost made a silly mistake there. So 1372. Again, make sure your numbers are lined up. My number was not perfectly lined up over there, but probably should have done a better job of that. So final answer for the first question is 1372. Same idea with subtraction. You want to line it up. It's a bit hard for me to do it perfectly because I'm looking at this at an angle while recording, but I'll try to look at the screen instead, get it better lined up. I haven't recorded a video in a while as well, so I'm a bit rusty, but hopefully as I get through this video, things will get a bit better. Okay, so we're doing subtraction over here. Again, I want to subtract from right to the left. So 8 minus 5 is 3. That's a simple subtraction. I can't really subtract 1 from 9. I'm going to cancel out the next number, subtract it by 1. I'm going to add a 1 over here. So this is going to become 11. So 11 minus 9 is just 2. And then 2 minus nothing is just 2. So my final answer for this second question is 223. Third question here is multiplication, and we have 3 numbers that are multiplying. So this is a bit difficult, a couple of different ways to do this one. Personally, I prefer to multiply the 2 larger numbers first and then multiply by the smaller number, but you can do it in a different way if you want. Let's start by doing 343 multiplied by 12. 3 times 2 is 6. Then I'll do 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 2 is 6. So you want to multiply them all by the first number. Then when you go to the next row, you want to first put a placeholder of 0 always when you're multiplying with the second number, because that's in the 10 positions. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. Now I just have to add these two numbers up. 6 plus 0 is 6. 8 plus 3 is 11. I'll carry 1. 1 plus 6 plus 4 is 11. I'll carry 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. So the new number here is 4116, and I have to multiply this now by 6. So let's do this. 6 times 6 is just 36. Carry on 3. 1 times 6 is 6, plus 3 is 9. 1 times 6 is 6, and 4 times 6 is 24. So my final solution to this question is 24696. Okay, question number 4, how much would it cost to cover a floor of 8 meters by 6 meters with carpet that costs $13 per square meter? There's a couple of different ways to do this question, but I like to do it with cross multiplication usually, although it's not really necessary in this case. I'm going to explain this problem in a bit of detail because it's a word problem and it's good to understand it. So we have this floor carpet over here that's 8 meters by 6 meters. And each square meter, so a square meter is just over here, which is 1 by 1. That's what a square meter is. Each of these square meters costs $13. So obviously there's going to be a lot of square meters here. It's going to cost a lot more money than $13. But to find the total amount of square meters here, I just need to find the area, which is 8 times 6, which is 48 meters square. Now I know that 1 square meter costs 13. So how much will 48 cost? It will cost 48 multiplied by 13. Because if one of them is 13, 2 of them will be 26, 3 of them will be 39, which means 48 meters square, this whole thing, I have to multiply these two numbers. Again, I'm going to do my multiplication, and I like to have a smaller number on the bottom always. It makes it a bit easier. 8 times 3 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Add a 0 for the placeholder. 8 times 1 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. Gotta add these up. 4, 12, carry 1, 6. So weird number there, 624. The final cost is $624 for the entire carpet. All right, question number 5, we're getting to fractions now. Find the lowest common denominator of these three numbers. The easiest way to find the lowest common denominator is just to list out all the multiples of these three numbers and find the first repetition in all three. That's the best way to do it. Not the quickest, but definitely the easiest. So let's do 3 first. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay, I'll just do 5 numbers for now. Do 7 next. 7, 14, 21, 28. No repetitions so far. So I'll extend the 3 a bit to see till I get a repetition. 18, 21. Okay, I have a repetition here between the first two. So that's my common denominator between 3 and 7. Let's go to 2's next. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I know it's even, so it's never going to hit 21. 22. So I didn't hit 21 here, which means I have to go higher on all three of them. 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. Let's see over here. 124, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39. It's a lot of repetitions between these two, but is there a repetition between all three of them? That's what we need to find. A repetition between all three. Let's extend my sevens. 35, 42. Okay, so this one's at 42 here. Let me extend this. I'll add another three. I hit 42 as well. So 42 and 42. And I know if I extend this, 42. So the first number that repeats in all three of these multiples is 42. Means that my lowest common denominator in this question is 42. Reduce 24 over 56 to lowest terms. So to reduce something to the lowest terms, I always suggest starting by either dividing by 2's, 5's, or 10's, whichever one is possible. If you see both numbers ending in a 0, always divide by 10's first. If you see numbers ending in 5's or 5's and 0's, divide by 5. And if you see two even numbers like this, which don't have zeros at the end, just divide by 2. I'm going to divide this by 2. 24 divided by 2, you should be able to do that mentally. It's 12. If not, you have to do your long division. But I'm not going to show that in this video. 56 divided by 2 is just 28. Again, something you should be able to do mentally. If not, you got to do long division on that. Now, can I divide these by 2 again? Yes, I can. They're both even. So I'm going to do 12 divided by 2, which is 6, and 28 divided by 2, which is 14. Can I divide these by 2 again? Yes, I can. 3 and 7. Now I can't divide these by 2's. Can I divide them both by 3? Nope. Can I divide them both by any other number? Nope. So that over there is fully simplified. 3 over 7. Next question. List the prime factors of 216. Okay, so to find the prime factors of 2116, to find the prime factors of any number, you start by dividing that number by the lowest possible prime number. Always start with the lowest ones because then it makes your life a lot easier. So if I take 2116, I can divide it by 2. 2 is my smallest prime number. So 2116 divided by 2 is 108. Again, I can do this mentally, but if you can't do it mentally, you got to do long division on that. So 108. I'm going to fill this little spot here, and then these I'm going to do on a different paper. Again, this is an even number, so again, I can divide it by 2. I'm going to start on the side over here by also writing that first 2 that I divided by over there. So 2 times 108, if I divide it by 2, is just going to give me 54. So again, I divided it by 2. 54, I can divide this by 2 again, it's even. That's going to give me 27. So again, 2. 27 is an odd number now. I can no longer divide it by 2. So I got to try my next prime number, which is 3. So let me divide 27 by 3. That's going to give me 9. Here I'm going to put times 3. I can divide 9 by 3 again, which is going to give me 3. So again, times 3. Then I can divide 3 by 3 again. That's going to give me 1. And over here, times 3. And when my final answer is 1, that's when I know the question is complete and I've listed all the prime factors of the number given in the question. So my final answer for this one is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. Those are the prime factors of 216. Okay, next question. We got some fractions over here. Adding, subtracting, and multiplying fractions. I'm going to do them on a different paper over here. So let's start with the first one. 3 over 4 plus 7 over 8. When adding two fractions, you need to make a common denominator first. My lowest common denominator over here is 8. You don't have to actually list out the multiples because if you do 4, 8, and then 8, that's really quick. Unlike the previous question where we had to go through so much, this one is quick. So the lowest common denominator is just 8. To make this into an 8, I just have to multiply by 2 on the top and the bottom. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. Then I just have to add up the fractions. The bottoms just combine because the denominators just combine when adding. The tops add, so 6 plus 7 is 13. So my final answer over here is 13 over 8. Now, sometimes you might be required to convert this into a mixed fraction form. And if that's the case, you just do long division. And I'll actually show you how to do it over here. So I'll show one long division in this video, 13, 8, and I'll show you how to convert it into a mixed fraction if it's necessary in terms of multiple choice. You put the top number on the inside and the bottom number on the outside. So how many times does 8 go into 13? 8 goes into 13 one time. I should probably put the 1 over there, slightly better. 8 times 1 is 8, so minus 8. 13 minus 8 is 5. And then 8 cannot go into 5 anymore. That's the final long division. So to write this as a mixed fraction, you write the number on the top, you write the number on the bottom, and then you write that number over there. So 13 over 8 is the exact same as 1/50 as a mixed fraction. We'll do it for the 10th example as well, so you have a bit of practice of long division as well. So we have 11 over 2 minus 2 over 3. Again, if you want, you can list out your multiples, but it's pretty easy to do this mentally. 2, 4, 6, 3, 6. My first repetition is 6. So I know my lowest common denominator is 6. So over here, I'm going to multiply the top by 3 and the bottom by 3. Over here, I'm going to multiply the top by 2, bottom by 2. That way I get my common denominator of 6. 11 times 3 is 33. 2 times 3 is 6. Minus 4 over 6. And then we just do the subtraction. When subtracting fractions, denominator just stays the same and we subtract numerators. Final answer is 29 over 6. Let's do some long division so that we can convert this into a fraction. 29 goes inside, 6 goes outside. 6 goes 4 times into 29 because 6, 12, 18, 24, and then 30 is too large. 4 times into 29. 6 times 4 is 24. I subtract this and I'm left with 5. 6 does not go into 5. So my final answer here, write the number on the top, write the number on the bottom, write the number on the side. the denominator. Okay, wow, that's the first 10 questions. There's about 100 questions in this one, so I might break this video down into multiple different parts so that the video doesn't get too long, maybe a couple of half an hour length videos. Question number 11 is another fraction question over there. We have multiplication over here. Okay, so when we're multiplying two different fractions, we generally multiply the top with the top and the bottom with the bottom, but we generally try to simplify first, if possible, if I can cancel any common factors in the top and the bottom. However, it's not possible in this case, making this question extremely difficult one. I don't think you'll see something this difficult in your test, but I'm still going to solve it just in case. So 8 times 4 is 8, 16, 24, 32. That's pretty simple. 63 times 3, that might be a bit hard to do mentally, so I'll do it on the side here. 3 times 3 is 9. 6 times 3 is 18. It's 189 over 32. Now, converting this into a mixed fraction is quite challenging. I don't know if you'd end up seeing this on your test or not, but I'm going to do it anyways. Do some long division here, 189, 32. So first we'll see how many times 32 goes into 89. 32, 64, 96 is too large, so it goes 2 times into this. 32 times 2 is 64. I subtract these, and then oh, I don't even think this works. This doesn't work. I don't know how to do this either. 32 goes 2 times 99. How would I convert this into a mixed number? I think I would just have to do it. It doesn't work like that. It's a bit difficult, but you'd have to do the multiples. You'd have to list out the multiples of 32. So 32, 64, 96, 128, 128 plus 32 is 160. 160 plus 32 is 192. 192 is too large because it's larger than the numerator. So 160 is the good number. 160 is a multiple, is 32 times 5. So my answer for converting this, the first number will be 5 because 5 times 32 is 160. And then the number in the denominator never changes. It always stays the same. It's 32. And to get the number in the numerator over here, you just take this number on the top and you subtract the 160 over here. So 189 minus 160 is 29. Yeah, I'm not sure how to do long division with two numbers. Don't know how that works. But I would just do it this way because very unlikely to see this in the test as well. All right, next problem is a word problem. If 62 liters of gasoline are added to a tank that already contains 5.5 liters, what is the total amount of gasoline in the tank? So we just have to add up these two amounts to get the total amount of gasoline. But I generally convert from mixed fractions to regular fractions when adding fractions because it's a bit easier. So to convert this into a regular fraction, first multiply 3 times 60 is 180. And then add the top, which is 2, so 182 over 3. Let's do the same here. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 1 is 11. And then bottom stays the same, which is 2. Now I just want to make a common denominator. So times 2, times 2, times 2, times 3, times 3. 182 times 2, you can do it on the side. I can do it mentally. It's 364. And if you can't do it mentally, just do it on the side. 364 over 6 plus 33 over 6. Just have to combine the tops now. So 364 plus 33. 4 plus 3 is 7. 6 plus 3 is 9. 397 over 6. And now let's convert this into a mixed fraction. We can do long division here because it's just one number. It's a bit easier. 6 goes one time into 7. And down the 9. Oof, 6 goes 15 times into 91. No, what am I saying? Yeah, it does. Oh, wait, I'm doing something wrong here. I'm doing this backwards. Oops, I'm doing that. I'm doing that accidentally, like I'm doing addition. What am I? Okay, let's try this again. 397 divided by 6. 397 divided by 6. Oh, you gotta look at it from this side here. So 6 doesn't go into 3. Yeah, I haven't done long division in a while. I was doing that backwards. 6 goes into 39 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36. I did long division earlier in this video, I believe. I don't know what happened. Brain fog. Pretty sure been doing long division this whole time. I guess they were not too difficult. That's why I was getting confused. No multiple numbers. Let's subtract this over here. Give me 3, bring down the 7. 6 goes into 37 6 times. Subtract again 36. Just left with a remainder of 1. So my final answer for this question is 66. That number, then 1, my remainder, 6 liters total in the tank. Let's go back to that harder question. Let's see if we can do this again. Maybe I was just doing that wrong. Oh no, it's not even possible. 189, 32. You just have to figure out how many times 189, 32 goes into 189 because 32 doesn't even go into 18. I was doing that backwards over there as well. Don't know what's going on, but brains may be a bit muddled up. Haven't done long division in a very long time. Okay, let's go on to the next question. So, wow, we finished the first page there, which is the first 12 questions. It's taken already a bit of time, but there's a couple more fraction questions left. I think I'll just end this video by completing these remaining fraction questions here. And I'll start the next video with order of operations and continue through the paper. I think I'll proceed like that. I don't think it's even possible for me to go like 4 or 5 hours straight through this entire thing. I don't think anyone would even want that. So I'll end with these 4 fraction questions over here for this video. I think that'll be a good length for this video here. This next question, we're multiplying 3 fractions. So when I multiply, divide fractions, add or subtract, I always convert them into regular fractions first. 7/8 times 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. 5/3 times 24/5. Then I reduce down the fractions if possible. In this case, there are possibilities to reduce. You want to just cancel stuff on the top and the bottom. 5 and 5 just cancel and turn into ones. That's a really good cancellation. 8 and 24, I can divide them both by 8. So 8 turns into 1, 24 turns into 3. 3 and 3 can cancel, and then they both become 1s. So on the top, I have 7 times 1 times 1, which is just 7. And in the bottom, I just have 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. And then 7 divided by 1 is just 7. Next one is division. So whenever I have division, the first thing I do is I'll convert them to regular fractions, but I'll also turn the division into a multiplication and flip the fraction upside down. Then I'll cancel anything if possible, but in this case, there's nothing that can cancel on the top or the bottom. So since nothing cancels, I'll just multiply it out. And if I multiply it out, 2 times 8 is 16, 3 times 5 is 15. Do a long division here to turn it into a mixed fraction. 15 goes 1 times into 16. Whoops. 15 times 1 is 15. And if I subtract that, left with 1. If I write this as a mixed fraction, it's 1. And the bottom number 1. And then 15. That one there, same idea. Let's convert it though first. So 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7. So I have 7/4 divided by 8 times 3 is 24 plus 5 is 29. Then I'll flip it. Now this one can be simplified. I can divide 8 and 4 by 4. That's 1 and 2. Can't be simplified further. So 7 times 2 is 14. And then 1 times 29 is 29. (14/29) cannot be turned into a mixed fraction because in order to turn a number into a mixed fraction, the number on the top has to be larger than the bottom. That's my final solution for that question over there. Last question for this video, number 16. How many blocks, which are 2 to 3 meters in length, must be laid end to end to make a row 66 meters long? So it's a bit of a tricky question, but I have these blocks that are 2/3 meters, and I need to figure out how many of them I need to lay in total to have 66 meters in total. So I have 66 meters in total. I have each one is 2/3. To find the number of bricks, I just have to divide this by this. I had 66 bricks and I need to find the total length. I'll do 2/3 times 66. I have the total length. I need to find the number of bricks. I need to divide. I'm doing 66 divided by 2/3. I'll flip it. So 66 times 3/2. Always flip the second fraction only. This is just 66/1 because nothing is on the bottom. And now I'll simplify. I can divide both of these by 2. Then I can multiply 33 times 3. I can do that mentally. It's 99. You can't just write it on paper. 1 times 1 is just 1. 99 divided by 1 is 99. So I need to have 99 bricks to make a row that's 66 meters long. I'm going to end with that question for this video. Hopefully you found some of these basics of the fundamentals and fractions helpful. If you want me to make more practice questions on the fundamentals and fractions, another video pretty similar to this one with about 16 questions, but with all different kinds of numbers, just let me know in the comments. I'll make a second set as well. And in the meantime, I'll probably end up working on the rest of this exam, start completing it up, maybe post a video every couple of days. More likes, more comments that I get gives me more motivation to post. If you find this useful, find it helpful, you want more content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.